Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cozy Christopher. Today we're going to be putting my Hisense H9G up on the wall, and as you can see I have it on the mount that my old TV was on, but I'm going to be replacing that with a new flush mount that'll put it closer to the wall. And we're also going to be doing a Q&A session, and we're going to address all of the questions that you all have been asking around the Hisense H9G. Kind of do like a Q&A type session to kind of address those things that you guys are wanting to know. Any other questions that you want to know about the TV, please put them in the comment section below. So stay tuned. Here we go. Okay, so we are going to start by clearing out the work area, and so I'm going to take the TV down from the current mount. I'm also going to move away the old TV. This is a Sony TV that we've literally had since 2000 and extremely heavy. I want to say 2008 maybe. Old, I don't even know if it's 1080p, it might be 720, but we've had this for a long time, and this is the one that we're replacing, but it still works perfectly. And that's the caveat with kind of mentioned earlier in my last video, that the Sonys kind of last for a while. Now anytime you remove a TV, especially a really nice one, if possible you want to have a partner and you want to have somebody help you with that. My wife does not like being on camera, so I don't have any help. So I'm gonna put these back on here to protect the screen for a quick, while I kind of move it around. If you watched my last video in the unboxing, these are the really, the hard plastic that kind of comes pre-packaged with the television. And it's it's really nice to have them, so that if you're moving the TV around, that you don't worry about damaging the screen from grabbing it on the corners and putting pressure on it. These come in really handy for that. So if you buy this TV, I would say keep them, put them in a box, put them in a closet, whatnot, and that way you have them. So you'll see the mount that I have. It's an old mount. Well, it's not too old, but again, be really careful. It comes off like so. I'm gonna set this over to a safe space. Okay, so this is what I'm working with. This is my current mount, as you can see, and I'm going to be replacing it with a flush mount that is very similar in style. It's from, I got it off of Amazon. It's by QualGear. And so it's very similar, right? QualGear, but it's extremely thin. So in comparison, when you look at this mount, kind of sticks out from the wall about ½ an inch. And this mount, it's roughly half the size of that one. And so we're going to get this mounted up on the wall, and then we're going to put our TV on the more flush mount. That way it's closer to the wall. The mount that you use makes a really big difference in what your TV setup looks like. And if you're wondering, yes, those screws are extremely hot coming out of the wall. I'm just used to it. Keep them moving, keep them moving. And this video is not about the wall mount or wall mounting a TV, but since I'm doing it, I would like to point out, like, this is the difference when you think about flush to the wall. So this one here, it's about 1.25 inches, maybe a little bit deeper. This one is about, just eyeing it, maybe 1/4 inch. So it makes a really big difference. When you think about putting something on the wall and how thin it is and how far it sticks out from the wall, it's a really big difference. So yeah, there's that. And basic wall mounting 101, always start from putting these on the television first and then doing your measurements from where they would align on the wall, not the opposite. Okay, so now that we have the wall mount up, it's level. The TV is going to sit right here. We're putting this recessed box somewhere in here, basically to run the cables if necessary. If we ever have to run anything in the past, I'll put a cable outlet box right there. But for the most part, it is to hide the wire. So inside of this is a built-in receptacle, like here, that sits there, and then this goes behind the TV and allows you to mount the TV flush. And I'm going to cut the hole in the wall using this rotary saw by Ryobi. You probably notice all my tools are Ryobi. All right, so I held my breath the whole time, but I definitely should have been wearing a mask. Okay, now that I have it up on the wall, the only thing that I have to do now is clean up the mess that I made. And there's one thing that's really weird about this TV is that it has a curve that starts at the top of the TV and then it goes kind of down towards the bottom, so it gets wider at the bottom and thin on top. So you have to take that into account when you're mounting it on the wall. One of the best purchases I've ever made. So this section is to answer Corin A. Kelly, and I'll put the comment up here. Basically he says, "Hi, thanks for the vid. How did you find the slow panning picture motion handling in real content, for example, a drone panning over a forest video? He and his family seems to enjoy watching nature shows and to seeing what, and he was asked, the question is basically asking, does this TV have any issues with this type of footage? Do you notice any grainy look or blah, blah, blah?" He saw this next to a Samsung Q80T in store, and he was ready to buy this TV at the 65-inch, but did not like the picture. What I've found is this is based on the source content. So if you are watching YouTube or something like that, and it's been through a lot of compression, that will show up on the screen. But if you have a very high quality video, you know, such as this one, it won't. So I don't see any issues with graininess, or this isn't a picture, you know, that that I would be unhappy with. But you know, again, I think it all boils down to like your personal preference. This TV is, you know, in fact, a budget TV. With that, you're going to get the, you know, very high, you know, HDR, you know, nits brightness, 1000 nits of brightness, and blah blah blah. But anytime you compare it to a company like Sony or Samsung with an extremely strong processing power, you know, that picture may be a little bit better. That does not mean that this picture standing alone in this room by itself, not next to those other televisions. And he pointed out that the Q80T was only $100 more based on what he was seeing. This picture by itself is an amazing picture. Again, but when you compare it to others, it kind of comes down to your personal preference on if it's worth for you to pay more for that next television. But in my opinion, the, you know, swooping shots like this, such as a drone, you know, picture, I think looks just fine. I don't think I would have any issues with this sitting, you know, in my living room, sitting in my, you know, game room, sitting in my bedroom, sitting in like a secondary, you know, sitting area. I continue to say that I would not pick this as my main TV. I'll never have anything other than an OLED as my main TV unless this micro LED or OLED / LED combination that Samsung comes out with blows it out of the water, but that's highly unlikely to me. The OLED in my mind is still the best picture you can get, especially in these type of scenarios where you're looking at nature and you're looking at HDR and you're looking at the ability for each pixel to lighten and darken itself. I don't think that you can beat that picture with anything. But again, you also pay a lot more money for an OLED. So, okay, so this section is for KMPM 1992. And they ask, how's the off-angle viewing? We typically use it in our family room with a straight-on view. Every so often, we'd open it up for viewing in 2 rooms for football and hockey games, for example. So here it is from straight on. This is kind of what you're going to see. And again, this will always depend on the quality of the signal that's going into the TV. As you can see, I'm using a YouTube video, for example, that they're claiming to be 8K, but it's going through compression, so it's not 8K. But it's going to show up as 4K on this television because TV isn't 8K capable. So now I'm going to pick up the camera. So if it gets a little shaky, I apologize. But I'm going to pick up the camera and I'm going to move it off axis, and then I may have to refocus because I have it on manual. But I may have to refocus, so I'm going to show you what it looks like if you're looking at it from another angle. Looks like we're in focus there. So if you're looking at this TV from another angle, again, it is a VA panel, so off axis is not the best. However, this is a pretty good rendition of a VA panel. I mean, I don't know the technical terms and different things like that, but it's not, the quality doesn't look horrible from this angle, and I am more than 45 degrees, you know, from the center of the screen at this point. But to me, it still looks fine. So now this is further back, so you can kind of see what it looks like. Again, it looks good to me. So it's always going to be, you know, of course, the Sony is you know, at that price point is going to be a better television. I believe that one is also IPS screen. Fact check me on that one because I didn't study that one too much, but fact check me on that. That's an IPS display. That one's going to give you better viewing angles. I mean, IPS versus VA, IPS is going to win every time. But typically at that price point, a difference of, I mean, for the 55-inch, the Sony is around the 900 mark. This one's 620, so I mean, that's $300, which is a big difference in technology at this price point. $300, you know, for that mid-range television is a really big jump. Sony typically has the stronger processing power as well. So again, it's going to come down to your personal preference. But in my opinion, when you're looking at if this isn't going to be, you know, I guess in my opinion, when you're looking at how much you're going to spend versus what you're going to get, $629 to $700 for this television, it's a steal. I have no complaints. I love it. It sits off access or off, you know, it's not directly in front of our bed. It's kind of off to the left, about 30 degrees. And I've had no issues over the last couple of days watching it. Now, clearly, I just mounted it today and hit all the wires, but it was on the wall, you know, and I've had no issues watching it, you know, from the 30-degree access or angle that I've been watching it. And, you know, this looks good to me. Even standing here, and that's being completely honest, like I don't have any issues with this picture whatsoever. So I mean, if this is going to be something where you're going to be up and around, hanging out with the family, having a few beverages and snacks and food and walking around, I think that this is going to be good. And so this comment is from EJ2013, and they ask, have you had any issues with red ghosting on moving objects? I haven't, and I responded, I haven't seen any signs of that, any red ghosting or any, you know, anything, you know, tracing behind, you know, an object as it moves. And, you know, throughout this video, I did this one last so that you could see the other examples of, you know, the football players, the soccer players, different things like that, to see if you notice anything in that regard. I haven't seen anything like that. So, I mean, I don't know if you currently have one or you're looking at them in the stores or you've seen, you know, different people talking about that, but no, I haven't seen any issues or haven't seen any issues of red ghosting behind anyone or anything like that. So I'll continue to keep an eye out for that as we game and different things like that here. If I see anything, I definitely will, you know, make it known and what have you, but I have not seen anything in that regard, any red tracing or anything like that, ghosting or shadows or anything like that behind the, you know, the characters or fast moving cars or anything like that. So yeah, you know, that's, you know, so I'll keep an eye out for it. So just let me know if you have any other questions around that, or if you've seen any examples of that, or if anyone else has, please drop it in the comments. Again, you know, this whole thing is to kind of answer questions that came up about the television, and to help put you know, everyone at ease on making this purchase, because it is a really, really nice TV. It's extremely thin. From a bezel standpoint, there are barely any noticeable bezels except for at the bottom. Really great picture, 4K. It's bright. It has a, you know, Dolby Atmos HDR 10 plus. So I mean, it's a phenomenal television. So if you guys have any other questions, please drop them in the comments. I really enjoy the after the video conversations to kind of help people out, because I'm a regular person. I mean, I just started this YouTube thing, so these aren't sent to me. These are purchases that I've made and invested in and researched myself, and have followed until I decided to purchase it. So yeah, I mean, for me, this has been a really great purchase. It does not have the HDMI 2.1 VRR, which was not a game, you know, which wasn't a game changer, or wasn't a, you know, a no for me, because this is going to be in my bedroom and I don't game a lot in my bedroom. I might bring the PlayStation up here every once in a while or hook up the Nintendo Switch to it, but other than that, I'm not going to be gaming in here. So please, if you have any other questions or comments, please drop a comment in the section below, and you know, and I'll get back to you. All right, everybody, that is it for me. Again, my name is Cozy Christopher, and you know, I just wanted to do kind of like a, you know, a Q&A type video, you know, make it permanent, put it on the wall, let you all know that I'm not sending this back, that this is a keeper. I absolutely love this television. I don't think that there's another TV on the market right now that gives you a better value. The TCL 6 Series Micro LED that just dropped is a very, very good TV, and also it also has VRR because it does have the HDMI 2.1. However, from a gaming standpoint, that may be a better buy for you. From a, you know, consumption type standpoint, whereas you're not a full-on gamer and you're looking for the best picture, I still think that this is going to give you the best picture. This gives you deeper blacks than that one does, and just a better overall picture quality. However, gaming, you know, that one may be better for you if you're looking for VRR, HDMI 2.1, 120 hertz gaming, meshing with each other from the console, computer to the television and coming together with that VRR. However, this is a 120 hertz native panel. It is 4K, it is Adobe, it is 1000 nits peak of brightness, HDR10 plus. 4K, again, it gives you everything that you're looking for, and I don't think that there's a TV on the market, like I said a little bit earlier, better than this one for the price point. $629 is what I paid for mine. I've seen them from $629 all the way up to $699 depending on where you get it at the 55-inch, but this one will sit right underneath your top end Samsung QLED, you know, televisions. It's kind of sitting, you know, QLEDs on all of the mid-ranges, and then this one sits above the mid-ranges in my opinion. I would not pay $1,500, $1,600 for a 55-inch television when there's one that is $629 that is better. That I just wouldn't. I don't care what the brand is, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is a television for everyone except for, like I said, those who are specifically looking for a gaming television with the VRR built in. This one does not have it, as well as those that are building out a media room or a you know, media room or entertainment room where they need the top of the line. But at that point, you wouldn't be in the $600 range anyway. You would be $2,000 and above easily, because at that point you're looking at an OLED, you're looking at a projection screen. You're not looking at this type of television. But I just wanted you all to see it in a space by itself, because by itself it is an amazing picture, and there is not a Samsung over there. There's not an LG over there. There's not, you know, a Sony down there like you would see it in the stores to compare it to. Standalone, you do not notice. First of all, it's a testament that they sit this television next to those top of the line televisions, but there is a testament that lets you know that when this is in the room by itself, it is a phenomenal picture. You have absolutely no issues with it, and I can wholeheartedly recommend it to anyone. I'm new to YouTube, so I paid for this with my own money. It's on my wall, it's permanent, it's not going back. I'm going to game on it every once in a while in the bedroom. Wife's not going to be just letting me hear game. But this is staying. I love this television. I have had not any issues with it. So yeah, again, you know, I just wanted to do a quick, you know, put it on the wall, make it permanent, Q&A. If there's any more questions that you all have, please drop them in the comments below. Leave a like. Share the video if you would like. If anyone has any questions, send them the video. This one, well, probably the last one, not this one, but this one would be okay too. But also, please subscribe if you have not already. Join the team. Hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is coming out. I got some stuff planned, you know, for this year that's going to be really cool. Yeah, so I'll just leave that little tidbit there. There's going to be some cool stuff this year. So stay tuned, like, share, subscribe. Cozy out.